Hey folks, Deano here again. This time with a bit of a weird one. Yeah, I I found this guy on AliExpress, and when I ordered him, I originally assumed he was a bootleg, because he didn't come with his rifle, and he didn't come with a box, and he came with some like random accessories. So I thought, why not? I'll purchase him. First Star Wars bootleg in a channel, woohoo. But it turns out it's a bit more complicated than that. But yeah, let's just take a quick look at the accessories he does come with, right? So first off, we've got his jetpack, which inexplicably has been glued on this side. You can just about make out the residue, plus you can't move it, doesn't move. And it also comes with the spare rocket instead of the main one. Other than that, it's actually really well painted, which when I got it in, thought it was strange. But yeah, you will notice the bottoms are not the normal nozzle. That's because for whatever reason this seller sold me the jetpack basically broken. You can see those are never fitting on, they have snapped off. Oh joy. But the bit that really caught my attention when I opened them, I literally opened them today, were the faces. Now, at first glance, you would think, oh, those are actually quite good faces. The eyes are actually painted, which is a bit strange for this figure, because every single person who has reviewed this figure had issues with how light the paint apps were. But that is not the case on these. And then you notice the hole in the chin. Yeah, I'm starting to think this isn't a bootleg, more so than it is a pre-production display piece. You know, the ones that they show off at conventions and such. Yeah, this is a version of the figure somewhere in between mass production and the hand-painted models that they put out to begin with. Because the drill hole is a staple of Tamashii, like trying to make sure the figures don't get pinched at the convention centre, which, I mean, they failed. Someone's clearly pinched this one. But yeah, here's the alternate head with the sort of angry face. Again, the eyes have clear white parts, which the main production model of the figure does not. But it also has the hole in the chin. But yeah, it also comes with the back plate, which is still removable. You can still pop all the pieces out just fine to get the backpack on. I simply didn't bother because I didn't want to go through the fiddling on camera, to be completely honest. But yeah, it still fits on just fine onto the back. So yeah, and inexplicably comes with two random hands that have absolutely nothing to do with him. In fact, if I didn't know any better, I would say these are probably from a Figuarts Kylo Ren, judging from the wraps on them. So yeah, because as you can see, his actual hands are, well, I think they're actually just, in the show, they were just spare Mandalorian gloves. that they painted black. A lot of the Mandalorians use these same gauntlets and gloves sort of thing, so yeah. But quite a strange figure all in. I don't know whether to be shocked or impressed that I somehow got a hold of this figure. I had no idea what it was when I purchased it. I just saw this Boba Fett going for cheap on AliExpress and pulled the trigger on it. Because I did want this Figuarts. Wanted it since it came out, but I wasn't willing to pay over the odds just because they decided to package him with the throne. But I guess you get what you pay for. Let's take a look at the figure. So yeah, it's definitely not a bootleg, but there are differences from the main mass-produced figure. First off, the head and neck comes off very easily. In fact, let's show the alternate one. So yeah, from most angles you won't even notice that hole in the chin, which is why Tamashii does it. So yeah, I'll be able to display him with that and a much better face print than the actual production figure. But yeah, those come off really easy. In fact, the helmet head is actually quite difficult to get on, and it tends to pop off when you move it wrong. But yeah, in terms of detail of the figure, it's still really nice. I haven't looked close enough to determine whether the paint apps are different from mass-produced in this version, but they still look really nice in my opinion. All the silver parts from where the arm was chipped are still present. There's no paint defects that I can see. In fact, I would say it's probably painted better, because this is a version that they put on display, so they want it to look as good as possible. So there's probably a bit of extra detail here that there wouldn't normally be. One major difference on the figure itself is the Kama. Is it a Kama? Whatever this is. Yeah, you'll see it doesn't have the wear and tear on the bottom. It's just a straight bit of material instead, which, I mean, I'm fine with. The whole reason I like this design for Boba Fett over any other one is because of the whole cowboy look. So whether it's a bit ripped at the bottom or not doesn't really bother me. But yeah, overall I'm really impressed. I mean, I should be. It's a real figure. Part of me wishes it was a bootleg, just because of how well made it is, but it is not. It's clearly not, now that I've got it in hand. But yeah, let's have a quick comparison with the Black Series, shall we? Because that's the one I have. There they are, side by side. So yeah, the Black Series one is completely serviceable. Only reason I wanted the Book of Boba Fett version, even though this one is called the Book of Boba Fett, shame on you, Hasbro, that's not. That's the Mandalorian version. Is because of the slimmer trousers and the whole cowboy aesthetic for the Book of Boba Fett. So yeah, all in all, I do like both of them, but definitely prefer this guy. So yeah, let's go over articulation, shall we? Because I think I've droned on about this enough. So you can, well, yeah, there you see. He can look up. He can kind of look down. You just have to be careful that you don't pop the neck off. It's got a ball peg at the top of the head and a ball peg at the bottom of the neck. So yeah, looks definitely looks apart. The rangefinder, oh, that's very tight. Pre-production model, it's probably fragile. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful with that. The arms, feels like just a ball hinge in there. So yeah, this piece, I'm not sure how that's working. I think it's a floating piece, but it also seems to be connected at this corner. So yeah, can go up that far. Does have a bicep swivel. It can go all the way around. That piece just sits there, doesn't really get in the way or anything. Single hinge, sorry, at the elbow, it gets past 90. Standard ball hinge at the wrist. The waist does have a bit of movement to it. Can go back that far. Can go forward just barely, not a whole lot. And yeah, it's a 2.0 style hip. So he can actually get really good range out of that. You can go that far out, almost to splits. You can kick up really well. Because it's 2.0, you can kick back as well. There's no restriction there of a backside. Does have thigh swivel. Single joint at the knee. It still gets past 90, but it's a wee bit restricted. And the boots can go up that far. Back a wee bit. And to articulation. So yeah, all in all, like, obviously I don't endorse purchasing this if you find it. I believe the seller that I bought this from was selling a few of them, as well as the first version, the one from The Mandalorian, with the baggy pants and stuff. But yeah, all in all, I am still pleased I got this, even though it's technically I shouldn't have it. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think down below. Is this a pre-production model? Is it a bootleg? Let's discuss it in the comments. So yeah guys, that'll do it for this review. I'll see y'all later.